I can give you the finish of the AEW women's title between timeless Toni Storm and Hikaru Shida. Would you like me to?
You know her name's Hikaru Shida. Why'd you call her Hikaru?
Toni Storm called her Hikaru the other day, didn't she?
Did she? I don't know. I've been watching the Toni Storm stuff.
Well, there you go. So the referee is Aubrey Ed, right? And she had her mane colored, I think, for this occasion. It's a big show. Well, Shida goes to hit Toni. They're down on the floor, and Shida goes to hit Toni Storm with the kendo stick, but she does the deal where she draws it way back over her head behind her, and she's going to come down with the Paul Bunyan swing, and old Luther, who finally, at least he's doing something for his fucking check after 4 years. But Luther is supposed to grab the kendo stick, but he misses, and Shida starts to swing and expects to feel a tug, and I've been there on this spot. And she don't feel the tug, and she swings over, and before she can stop herself, she does hit Toni Storm right in front of the referee. And the referee just says, "Nay, I won't disqualify you." And then Shida turns around and kicks Luther in the balls and beats the shit out of him with the stick. By the way, I think they ought to get a new sponsor for this program. The people that do goddamn vasectomies. How many people were violently struck in the goddamn testicles over the course of this 5 hours of insanity?
Well, I don't know. I didn't keep count.
Over and over and over. So anyway, beat up Luther. And Toni Storm, did you see the finish of this?
No.
Okay. Well, then this is what I got on you. You know, Luther is Toni Storm's butler because she's the old days golden era of Hollywood movie star, right?
I thought he was Jericho's butler.
No. He was Jericho's gopher. No, that's what I'm saying. He's Toni Storm's butler. And he's the Eric von Stroheim in Sunset Boulevard. And he's got the tray that is that he carries around Tony's various implements on, right? And it's a metal tray, and it's round, and maybe it might be the size of not even a 12-inch, in between a 45 RPM and a 33 and a third RPM record, probably about the size of an old 78. So, Brian, I've narrowed it down for you. Everybody else is goddamn lost. It's a metal tray. While the referee is dealing with Luther getting his shit kicked out of him with his fucking kendo stick, she takes the tray. And you know, like when the masked man used to put a metal object in his mask to load the headbutt?
Right.
Or a guy that has a glove or an elbow pad, then they use an elbow drop or a punch or whatever, they load that. What does Toni Storm use for a finish, Brian? Do you remember?
Does she put something on her ass and use her ass as the battering ram?
She loaded her ass, ladies and gentlemen. She put the tray and stuffed the butler's tray in the back of her tights. But here's the thing. She didn't then just run and do it. They continued wrestling. And the metal tray started shifting, and by the time it was 30 seconds had passed, it was sticking out of the bottom of one of the leg holes of her tights. And then by the time she goes back in the corner to run and do the ass in the face, they've got a camera shot on it. This thing is barely in her tights. It's hanging out of her fucking ass cheek. And she does the ass in the face and covers fucking Shida. And Aubrey counts while she's looking at a metal butler's tray sticking out of fucking Toni Storm's ass cheek. 1, 2, 3.
New
so
champion.
That was unique.
New champion.
Yeah, new champion. New boss. She's had it before, though, but now she's timeless now, so she's got it again. But she needs a pair of fucking tights, apparently, that are assless, not timeless.
Should there be an ass championship in AEW? If all the women have their asses hanging out, why not give them a belt?
Well, no, I wouldn't mind their ass hanging out, but I hate the fucking gimmick hanging out. It's like Tommy Young told me when Brute Bernard worked for Crockett in the mid-'70s. Tommy had started refereeing at that point, right? And Brute Bernard was the crazy guy, and, and he bald head and ugly face, and he was wild. And Tommy said one night they're at a fucking show somewhere, and Brute Bernard takes a bump out of the ring, and he sees a board laying there from the ring crew or whatever, like a 2x4, about 3 feet long. And he picks it up and he sticks it in the back of his tights like he's hiding it behind him, right? But it's sticking a foot over his head. And fucking Brute comes back up on the apron as Tommy's going, what the fuck are you doing? Brute says, don't see it. It's tall enough you could hang his fucking hat on it. He wouldn't be able to find it.
I love when Brute Bernard showed up in Memphis, and there's a video of it. I guess it was before 79, yes. Probably 77, 78.
It was the summer of 1977, and that video exists because I salvaged it, but go ahead.
Well, just he gets on the mic and is just screaming into the mic while he's wobbling his leg.
Yes, that's when they painted General Homer Odell, his manager, yellow. Remember, it was Armand Hussein and Plowboy Frazier, and they were wrestling, and I think Bold Eagle may have been in there also, and they were wrestling the Angel, Frank Morrell, and Brute Bernard, and General Homer Odell was the field marshal, and some way a bucket of yellow paint was introduced. I think they were going to paint a yellow stripe down Hussein's back, and the tables were turned, and Odell ended up goddamn covered in yellow paint.
I didn't realize this was one of the tapes that you salvaged.
Well, I kind of salvaged it because here's the thing. Lawler had saved about 10 or 12 3/4-inch tapes of stuff that he had done, and that was on one of those shows. And I borrowed them from him and got them dubbed over to VHS in early 1980, probably. And I don't know if he's still got his masters now, but the copy floating around for years was from the one that I got. But nevertheless, should we move on?
Yes.
Yes.